We have now come to the end of The Art of Hacking Humans, Introduction to Social Engineering, presented by Dauda Sule. So in conclusion, here's a recap. During the course of the lectures, we saw that a lot of the high-profile cyber and related crimes and attacks that have occurred recently were mainly initiated and also were made successful as a result of the malicious attackers using one social engineering technique or the other. Social engineering techniques are adopted by malicious attackers, individuals, and entities because they are easily deployed at very low cost and risk to the bad guys. Social engineering does not require much technical expertise, so hence, from the common criminal to large criminal organizations to nation states, the easiest way to achieve malicious goals through a cyber attack is to initiate it at least through social engineering. Humans are the easiest target to compromise, as advanced technology tools and techniques which are likely to be costly and complicated to deploy are not required. Social engineering is easier to deploy, it's cheaper to deploy, and it has less risk to the attacker. It's less risky to use social engineering rather than to engage in an armed attack, for example, an armed invasion, armed robbery, kidnapping, things like that. It is easier and safer to make illegal money through social engineering rather than other physical crimes. Human beings are the weakest link as far as information security is concerned. They are the weakest link in the cybersecurity chain. The best hardware and software for protecting information and computer systems amounts to naught if those who are required to man and handle it fail to do so properly or are easily deceived, leading to the software or hardware being compromised. Social engineering is nothing new and has been with us for as good as from the beginning of time. Some of the techniques used by malicious attackers today, some of the common techniques, have precedent in some of the scams and cons of old, like the Spanish prisoner, which could be seen as a precedent for the 419 email scams. Also, we saw the case of the letter from Jerusalem was targeted towards aristocrats, which could be considered as precedent for today's spear phishing attacks. Malicious individuals are able to succeed with social engineering techniques by taking advantage of human weaknesses like willingness to help, gullibility, fear, curiosity, greed, and lust, and so on, which the malicious individuals use to deceive victims into releasing confidential data like logon credentials and things like that, using techniques like phishing or pretexting and so on. Some of these techniques, some of these social engineering techniques, exploit similar weaknesses and use similar forms of deceit. For example, we have pretexting and phishing, which take advantage of human gullibility. Phishing and farming use fake URLs. E-whoring and baiting use a form of enticement. However, despite the apparent successes of social engineering, there are ways in which social engineering can be effectively tackled at the individual and organization level to prevent the success of such techniques, social engineering techniques, which include training and enlightenment, policies and procedures, and of course awareness. Organizations should take their time to train and enlighten both their employees and customers regarding social engineering so as not to fall victim to social engineering. So that protects both the organization and their employees and customers. Policies and procedures need to be in place and properly enforced by organizations to ensure that they don't fall victim to social engineering attacks. That will significantly reduce the risk of them falling victim to social engineering attacks. Of course, the most important thing is awareness. Awareness, awareness, awareness. Both individuals and organizations should be aware of cybersecurity threats. Being aware of such threats like social engineering and other things can make you to be alert against them. You will be aware of them and be able to avoid falling victim of them. Once you understand that they exist and how they operate, it will minimize your exposure, your risk of becoming a victim to such attacks. So that brings us to the end of this course. I hope you enjoyed the course. I look forward to having you in other courses in future. Thank you.